Liberalism is degenerate, female succession is stupid, and this dynasty is completely illegitimate. We must fix this and bring Spain back on the right path, back to a traditional Catholic monarchy. And only King Carlos de Bourbon-Anjou can do it. Only he can bring the Spanish Empire back to its former glory. This is the Carlist Civil War, and by God we shall win this. Subscribe now to support our cause. Now this actually starts as a guerrilla war, which means battles are smaller, less frequent, and nobody really occupies any land. Instead we gain points with every victory. That's the first phase of the war, and when we get to 1839 or whenever a side gets more than 10 points, the second phase, the actual war, can start, and each side gets buffs depending on how many points they manage to get. I gotta say I really like this system. I think it's very cool. It could definitely be implemented in more places. Now how do we actually win this as the Carlist? Well, it's gonna be pretty easy since we have amazing generals. All of them are pillagers, so that means they get an 800% ambush chance, and that's one of the special tactics you can get in the guerrilla war. But I guess we can stack a couple more modifiers, such as the 20% morale from military wages and the army satisfaction buff. They are powerful, so if we go for National Guard, we'll get another 20% offense and defense. And let's also get a couple enlistment efforts everywhere. Mobilize a couple more units. We get a Carlist War event, yeah, very cool. And those two provinces over here are isolated actually, but don't worry, the event gives them free guns and free grain, so the army will work just fine. You know what, sure, let's go for Carlist terror. Now we just need to get a bit lucky with those battles. Okay, we ambush them in a battle, that's very good, but they'll beat us over here we are defending, and hopefully we'll also be winning this one. Now the siege of Bilbao, we can get 20% trade capacity for 1% of the people in País Vasco. Sorry, it's not worth it. Okay, we're actually winning everywhere. Now we got a point and another, they also got a point, but we get 2 more. Yeah, it's pretty clear we're gonna win this. There we go, we got up to 10 points, but I have another 2 battles going that I want to finish. Okay, now we're at 12 points, so it's time to begin the Royal Expedition. And look at all those buffs we'll be getting. 120% offense. Oh yes, please. Dios, Patria, Rey. It's time to finish off the Cristinos. Yes, the Red Berets are marching into Madrid. Yes, we won. Spain is united once again, under the rightful rule of King Carlos. But it will take some time before everyone comes to terms with this. We will be having a lot of internal problems, but also external ones. Our colonies in the new world have become independent, so I guess we'll just have to accept that the old empire is gone. No, you cowards, we'll be taking it back by force if we have to. Treason shall not be rewarded in this Spanish empire. Britain and the US will likely oppose us, however, but no one seems to care about Argentina right now, so we'll take them over. But we'll probably need a bigger navy. And we got National Guard. Now we'll go for colonial resettlement. Maybe we can start some colonies down in Africa. Britain declared me as a rival, that's not a good sign. All that is holy. The radical elements of the previous liberal government have brought great injustice on the church. Only restitution can wash away those sins, although it will cost a lot of money. Okay, we'll have to increase taxes. The war against Argentina started. We'll be doing a naval invasion right in their capital, and I might be able to get away with North Peru, which became independent at some point. The south is still under Bolivia though. I will also get an alliance with the Austrians. I think that's a good idea. London calling. Oh, it's about the Belgian-Dutch relations. Okay, fine, I'll be attending. Okay, this is actually crazy. The British and the US don't have an interest in the Andes anymore, so we can pretty much attack whoever we want over here without any interference. I think we'll go for Ecuador. We can definitely beat them on our own. Meanwhile, Bolivia is a bit stronger. We landed in Argentina, and now we get the King and the Fueros event. Now, from my understanding, the Fueros were pretty much some Basque privileges, which have been revoked by the previous liberal government, but the Carlists promised to bring them back. That's why the Carlist movement had such great support over here in the Basque region. But now, do we want to keep this promise? Damn, the debuffs will be very bad. But for the roleplay, we must do it. And I guess we'll also be favoring the 24 points in the Dutch-Belgian situation. That's gonna pass anyway. And Ecuador backs down, surprisingly. They are our protectorate now. Now, this would be a bit harder, but we can also go for Bolivia. Defensive pact with Russia on investment rights. Okay, fine, I guess we can do it. We got Argentina. Now we'll be invading North Peru. Now, the British don't really care too much about Chile anymore. They're probably busy somewhere else, so let's declare on them. Hopefully they give up. No, they don't. Chile wants a fight. Well, maybe Uruguay doesn't. No, they also want to fight. No one respects the Spanish crown anymore, but at least we have colonial resettlement. Now, what about a dedicated police force? If I try to annex Texas, the British don't really care. The US might get involved, but it's only a +8 preference. Okay, I think I'll risk it. It would be absolutely amazing to get Texas. We'll be able to invade Mexico from here very easily. The US didn't actually join in this Texas war. They don't care about me taking over land right next to them, but if I dare go for Venezuela, they would go absolutely crazy. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. Now we can decrease the autonomy of Argentina, which I think I'll do, because then we can also attack Paraguay. Hopefully Britain doesn't join. Let's end the war with Bolivia. Now Peru gets all that land, and Bolivia is a protectorate. Ooh, the Dominicans are rising up against Haiti. Oh, and Paraguay backs down. We also got Texas, and the Mexicans are very weak. The British are also not willing to support them. The US is definitely not gonna help them. So let's go for it. Almost 2.5 infamy. I know it's a bit much, but we'll have to do it. Also, the war against Chile is over. Now through the Reconquista journal entry, country, we can re-establish our first colonial administration. And the first one will be Peru. Now this pretty much spawns a new country, and then we can make them annex all of our protectorates. There we go, look at that huge Peru. And I wanted that because now I can finally attack and conquer Amazonia. I just can't stand them being on the map. And we get the hungry forties. That's very fun. Now we are at peace finally. Let's give this promise to Peru. Now this here was the easy part actually, because from now on we can't really take over anybody without having a great power getting involved. I think we can probably beat up the US. It will take a long time for them to mobilize, so we need to find a country the British don't care about but the US does. I think Costa Rica is pretty good. The US will definitely join, so let's try this. Actually they backed down, the US didn't even join. Okay then, free Costa Rica. How about Nicaragua? Again they don't wanna join. Santo Domingo also got their independence by the way. We can also re-establish Rio de la Plata. Sure, why not? We got all the states we need. There we go, that looks better. Uruguay is not part of it though. Anyway, Nicaragua also backs down. Doesn't seem like I'm able to get a war with the US. They just don't care about Central America, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I got literally all of Central America for free. In a year we'll be able to re-establish New Spain. And I think we can also sneak in Venezuela. They back down as well, of course. We also got dedicated police force. Now I am thinking about going for elected bureaucrats, because I want to make the intelligentsia marginalized. Then we can finally complete this entry. And a lot of the bureaucrats are intelligentsia. If we can make them petite bourgeoisie, however, that would be amazing. I don't think anybody would really care if I make a protectorate in Haiti or in Santo Domingo. Oh, the Americans are going to war with Russia. They don't care about New Grenada anymore, they are busy. So we can take them over. I guess I could also help the Russians fight the Americans. We definitely have a good chance of winning. Let's make them liberate New Africa. The hungry forties are over and we are winning against the Americans. However, I'm not too sure for how long. They can mobilize a ton of troops, so we gotta be quick about this. Maybe we should also switch to skirmish infantry. That's probably a good idea. The Austrians want help against the Prussians. They're also in a bit of a civil war. Okay, fine, I can help. And what I forgot to do is to re-establish New Spain. Oh yeah, that looks amazing. Let's protectorate New Grenada, and that's it. We got pretty much our entire empire back. Now we'll just have to wait another 2 years and the Reconquista will be completed. So I think it's about time to make a power block. I didn't want to do it because I was afraid of antagonizing Britain and the US too much. But since the Reconquista was secured, now I think we can do it. Question is, what type of power block? I'm between a sovereign empire and a cultural commonwealth. Are the colonies people as well? I don't know, it's tough to say. But okay, fine, I guess I'll go for the cultural commonwealth. Since I think Spain is one of the only countries where this actually makes sense. We'll go with the freedom of movement. I think those emblems might be new, right? We'll go with this one, I think. There we go, our very own cultural commonwealth. Oh, and the British are in the civil war. Pretty big one as well. Maybe we can use this opportunity to get a foothold in South Africa. You know, it's a pretty nice region. Filled with gold. And America actually lost that war. They lost the South. But they are still pretty strong anyway. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Now let's reorganize the Caribbean. Should Cuba get everything? Or should Nueva España handle the Caribbean? I think I want a separate colony in the Caribbean. Yeah, that's right. Cuba owns all of this now. And considering the British are busy, I might as well protectorate Portugal. It's only 2 infamy. It's absolutely insane. Austria also got the German leadership. Surprisingly, Portugal just backed down. And like I said, because the British are busy, we might as well attack Brazil. They're a bit too powerful for my liking. Let's make them liberate some countries. We also got elected bureaucrats. I don't want to balkanize them too much. I just want to weaken them so they are not a major power anymore. Oh, and the United States joined. Now I actually want to balkanize. I'm gonna bring in Austria as well. And I'll try to liberate New England and take Oklahoma for Nueva España. A commerce treaty with Prussia. Okay, sure. Anyway, Brazil became secondary all of a sudden. Now I want to focus on the United States. We might actually be able to land in DC. They only have the army of observation over here, which has no units. Yeah, they're really just observing. Oh, but now the Brazilians are trying to land in Catalonia. Maybe we should bring some troops over there. Yeah, the homeland is a bit undefended. Well, now it's time for us to finish the Reconquista and re-establish New Grenada. This is our American empire. So we can either get 20% more authority, more convoys, prestige, or less authority, less prestige, but a lot of army buffs. Yeah, I think I'll take the army buffs. And it actually took less than 10 years to conquer everything. I think that's pretty good. Let's end this war, and that's how things are looking like. Again, the US is still pretty powerful. Now I think I'll continue my colonization of South Africa. Well, we have a new mandate available. I think I'll go for construction for now, but I might change it later. The US is going to war with Britain. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think they stand a chance. I got a big treaty with New England. I really hope I can get them in the power block. And guess what? We can reduce the autonomy of Portugal. Let's make them a puppet. Oh yeah, that looks better. I guess we can get a rural folk in government, and we can try to pass agrarianism. Although I'm not sure this will go very well. Damn, the US is doing pretty well actually. Now what the hell are the French doing in Europe? Anyway, let's go back to South Africa. And our colony will be expanding, we'll be conquering this entire region. Morocco claims Al Rif. Really? We might have a conflict, you know? I think I'll let Swaziland live over here. Just so the Cape Colony doesn't get the event where they get claims on everything. Another mandate available. I guess we can go for share cannon as well. We can have both share cannon and freedom of movement. We do have a lot of infamy now, we might want to chill for a bit. Oh damn, the Confederates are rising up in New Africa, in Mississippi. I I almost forgot we still on the Philippines. But yeah, I guess we do. Let's try to annex this little country over here. And yeah, I forced the Philippines to enact frontier colonization. They should really start getting the southern part. And I guess I forgot to get a royal marriage for our king. I guess we can do one with Krakow. Fine, why not? Oh no, never mind, we're actually marrying our prince. Okay, that's cool. Okay, you are joking, right? There is no way we can transfer the Dutch East Indies for 2 infamy. Okay, sure, we'll do it. This is the best deal I've seen in my life. The Dutch also have a couple islands over here in America. Yeah, those will be mine. Those are 6 infamy, can you believe it? It costs more to conquer those 3 islands than it does to transfer the entirety of Indonesia. This doesn't make any sense anymore. The Netherlands backed down, actually. Yeah, now we have the Spanish East Indies. And the British are trying to transfer those guys from them. Should I help? I guess I could. The British are not that powerful, but they also have a lot of puppets. However, India is in a civil war. What? British rush for 2 inf— Is my game broken? What's going on? This is not okay. I'm not gonna do it anyway. I can get to India. There is no way we can beat the Royal Navy. But I will transfer the Cape Colony, I guess. Let's fight the British, I guess. The Pope wants us to rival Britain. Yeah, sure we can do it. We like the Pope, you know? Okay, and this is huge. We got agrarianism. I know. The Carlists like traditionalism a bit more, but it's just not practical. Agrarianism, on the other hand, way better. Now, I would actually like to get per capita taxation for that extra bit of money. And England invaded Baja Andalusia. I forgot Gibraltar exists. But it's fine, no need to worry. And we could actually change the culture of the East Indies to Spanish. Yeah, I think I'll do that. There we go, the Spanish East Indies are truly Spanish. However, still Protestant. And we got a new mandate. I'll just go for companies. We should get our first companies very soon. Ottomans, I don't know if you realize, but we are rivals. I'm not doing a defensive pact. There we go, per capita taxation is here. South Africa is ours. Let's change it to Spanish culture as well. Now I think we can make protectorates in New Africa and probably also in New England. You can make protectorates for so cheap now, really sovereign empire is useless. We don't even have to fight New England. Oh, indeed Italy formed. They rivaled me. Anyway, I want to take over the rest of Alrif and protectorate Morocco. Oh, and speaking of Italy, they side with Morocco. Well, we don't have any maneuvers to do anything against them. Oh, finally we can establish our first company. Duro y Compagnia. This seems like an amazing one. Yeah, we'll go for it. And yeah, I guess you can also deal with logging and invest everywhere you want. There are only a couple independent countries left in Indonesia, so I think I'll take care of them and I'll make the Spanish East Indies into a colony. Oh man, what's that name? Bernardo de Sanogueira de Figueiredo. Okay, fine, you have a cool name, you can stay. Unfortunately, Brazil is still a major power, so I guess we'll have to go back to war with them. I'll try to divide them a bit more. Those 2 states represent about 40% of the economy, so I think this should be enough to get them to a minor power. Sorry Russia, I can't go to war with Britain right now. I'll also make the Confederation of the Equator a protectorate. We can make New Africa a puppet. We can get our second company, and I think I'll go for the truce. Well, we don't have a truce with Britain anymore, so let's go to war with them. I want to take those Central American holdings. Guyana for sure. I don't think I'll take the islands. I feel like the British Navy is a bit too powerful for me, but I'll be transferring some of the Canadian countries. Actually, all of them, why not? Britain is also at war with Russia right now, so maybe they'll be too busy to deal with me. Together with our puppets, we actually have way more units than them. Oh, and I almost forgot again. We have to take Gibraltar 100%. Oh, never mind, they brought in the Ottoman Empire. I still think we can handle this. New England is a bit disloyal, but we'll still have to enforce military access through them, so we can get the rest of Canada. We are officially occupying all of our war goals. Yeah, surprisingly, their Canadian Defense Force was very underwhelming. Now let's get Freedom of Movement 3, which will allow migration within the power block. The entirety of Canada was occupied, and now we just need to wait. Okay, we'll have to wait for a long time. And the British just took over Alaska, so I won't be able to get it in this war. I guess we can get rid of the guild system. It's really hurting our qualifications, so let's go for combination acts instead. I still want to keep the trade unions weak. We got the combination acts, and Britain has capitulated. Now all of Canada is mine. I could actually confederate everyone if I research nationalism. Maybe I should. The Pillars of Hercules. That's an event we get because we took over Gibraltar. Finally, we got railways. Time to fix all the infrastructure problems. Wait, what? Universities give 20% migration attraction? Well, in that case, I might have to build one everywhere. I don't want to build too many though, because I'm still trying to get the intelligencia marginalized, so I can complete the 2 Spain's entry. Finally, Brazil is a minor power, and we can make them a protectorate. Let's go for it. Finally, we can control all of South America, or most of it anyway. And those 2 guys over here, I'm gonna straight up annex. They are pretty cheap. Now I think I'll give all this land back to Brazil, so we can make them a puppet. And you know what? I think I'll reorganize the entirety of South America to give more land to the Spanish captaincies. First of all, Banda Oriental. I would like to annex you. Okay, fine, you want to fight. We can also do it that way. The United States sides against me. I don't really want this to escalate into such a big war, but I guess it did, and we'll have to deal with it. The US does have a pretty big army, unfortunately. Nueva España has claims on a couple states though, and we can return them for cheap. Nihilism, oh no. Yeah, we must suppress this movement. Unfortunately, I can't liberate anybody big from the US. However, I could take over New York. That's 20% of the economy right there. Yeah, I guess we'll do it. Although we'll be right at the infamy limit. So after this, we really have to chill. The US actually mobilized quite a couple units. I'm not sure we'll be able to push. We can do it, kind of. In some places at least. There is no way they can sustain such a big army with their economy. Finally, they made a mistake. They forgot to cover the front in Pennsylvania. revenue. Never mind, they got here actually. But still, they can't defend every front. We are so close to getting the intelligencia marginalized as well, but at the same time so far away. Oh yeah, they're in the negatives. And we can end the war. There we go. A bit better. Okay, and we got nationalism. We should be able to confederate Canada. Yes, we are. But we need to be at peace. Now we can get our third company. The one from the power bloc. I don't know which one to choose. We already have the basic goods sorted with this company. So I guess we'll go for the home goods one. The glass will become pretty important later on, once we switch to steel frame buildings. Okay, now we can start confederating Canada. God save the king. We can do this every 3 years, I think. Now, like I was saying before I got interrupted, I want to reorganize South America. So Rio de la Plata will get Uruguay, and also parts of Brazil. Okay, that looks good. And I also want to split the Amazon between Nueva Granada and Peru. Just like that. And Brasilia will only be rolling over this part. There we go. And we'll be getting this part whenever I'll be able to annex the Confederation of the Ecuador. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good reorganization of South America. Oh my god, we did it. We finally did it. Also, our king died. Now we have this other King Carlos. But we finally got the intelligencia marginalized. So we completed the 2 Spain entry. Now we get the spirit of Don Carlos. You know what? We'll be getting more conversion. Revelation will set the world right again. Let's turn everyone Catholic. And with that entry completed, I can spam universities without any worry. I will reduce the autonomy of Morocco manually, because I don't see any other way. They are too disloyal. Britain attacked us. Very interesting. You know, we can bring quite a couple people in to support us. But first of all, I want New Finland and Alaska. Yeah, okay, that's a way I'm willing to fight. But not without help from Russia and Austria. Yeah, the British are pretty strong, but they are not that strong. They can't fight half of Europe on their own. Okay, Morocco, now that you're a puppet, you'll have to pass some colonial law. Okay, Morocco is now finally colonizing Sahara. Things are looking great for us. Now we can end the war. And Britain is officially out of North America. Let's confederate Canada a bit more, and the colonization of Alaska will start. Now it's probably time to finish off the job in South Africa and get rid of Swaziland. Now what I really don't understand is why nobody wants to colonize the Gurani tribe. So I guess I might have to do it, but I'll have to take a couple states, which is unfortunate. It will give me like 10 infamy. And of course, Rio de la Plata will be disloyal for a while. But really, someone has to colonize this region. Yeah, so there's a Catalan national awakening. We are all united by the crown. Let's go with that one. The Spanish East Africa Company. So Zanzibar's authority is extremely weak. Yeah, they got independence from Oman, because Oman is part of the Ottoman Empire now. Yeah, I think we'll support the collapse of Zanzibar. Oh, and we just took it over. Anyway, let's confederate Canada a bit more. Now we have only 3 Canadian countries. Okay, I tried to annex the Confederation of the Ecuador finally, and looks like the Ottomans, New Africa, and New England wants to fight me. That's actually good because I can reduce the autonomy of New England as well. They have been a very disloyal subject. Confederate Canada again, yes please. Now there is only the Hudson Bay Company and Quebec. And Quebec is stronger. So I don't know, I guess we'll see who will annex who. Steel frame buildings, we got it. Time to switch everyone to that and get a bunch of shortages. We also switched our navy to monitors and ironclads. We got pan-nationalism, and that's a pretty big deal actually, because we get the Iberian Union event. Do we want to do this? I don't think I will. I like being Spain, I like having my Spanish Empire, I like the Burgundy Cross, I don't want to change my flag, and if I change my mind I can always click the button and just form Iberia. Now we colonize this region, so let's give the land back to our colonies. Yeah, that looks good. Atosha railway station. Let's build that, sure. And also the Statue of Liberty. Confederate Canada is completed now. And Quebec was the one that annexed everything. That's actually amazing, because they are Catholic as well, and we can also make them Spanish. There we go, Spanish Catholic Canada. You just love to see it. Let's give them New Finland, and let's give Brazil that state I forgot about. Now India is having a utilitarian revolt, and you know what we can do to really screw over Britain? Support the revolt, and send the entire army to India. Besides, Britain is already busy in this Prussian-Swedish war. We are occupying East Bengal, the Indian capital, so we're gonna win this. Britain will lose India, but our economy is also collapsing for some reason. Oh, because we have no convoys, that's why. Yeah, I think we're getting raided. Well, we can get another company now. I guess I'll go for the groceries one, for the extra birth rate. Probably should have went for it sooner. There we go, Britain capitulated. They lost India. I am now the greatest power in the world, greatest power bloc in the world. Overall, this was a great success, and India fractured. It was inevitable. Now we can establish some colonial administrations in Africa. Let's first expand South Africa, and let's get a colony in Senegal. Oh yeah, and I can choose what type of colony it will be. You know what, let's convert everyone. We already have a lot of Catholics here anyway. I've also decided to get rid of all the consumption taxes and put all that authority into greener grass campaigns in all of Spain. Hopefully now we can attract a couple more migrants from the colonies, and Britain is back to conquering India. Well, that will take a while. On the general state of public treasury. Okay, so we have an ambitious plan of redesigning our economy. Sure, let's do it. So we get this economic regeneration entry, and we need to complete all those reforms. Well, some of them are already fulfilled, so they'll be completed automatically. We only have 3 more left. I really don't know what what this event is all about. We can improve one of our modifiers. I think I'll do the coal in Asturias. I would do the iron, but we have the fueros in the Basque country, and that's really hurting our taxation. So coal it is. Let's build a couple more railways to complete this entry, and let's switch to fertilizers. And then we'll be needing those thresher machines, so we'll have to get this tech. Now the land reform is probably the hardest one to complete. We'll have to get the SOL up to 15, and I would like to side with the landowners. I don't really want to go and serve though. This other law would be nice, but I have no idea how to get it. I guess we'll see. In the meanwhile, let's establish the Sanj colony. Again, let's convert everyone. And I might have to take over the Portuguese colonies. Oh yeah, much better. Retribution. Saharan Twilight. I don't know what this does, but I'm gonna click it. We'll need the Moroccans to colonize West Sahara in 10 years. I think that's doable. Now I think it's time to attack the USA once again. They are still a pretty powerful major power, and that has to change. We'll be attacking them in Wyoming, because the British don't have an interest over here, so they can join. It would be pretty tough to fight both of them at the same time, but separately we can definitely handle them. I'm also gonna be taking over Pennsylvania. That's almost 30% of their economy right there in one state. It might be expensive, but it's worth it. And yeah, I guess we'll have to pass serve them to get that entry. I think we can change this principle from construction to something else, like research. Let's end the war. They never stood a chance. Their economy has been destroyed once again. Oppressor and oppressed. Okay, that entry. Yeah, I don't think I can really stop this. Let's survey the Panama Isthmus. And yes, we got served them. Isn't that just great? I mean, we are pretty close to actually complete this entry. We just need to make the landowners a bit more powerful. For that, we'll make the Catholic Church a bit more weak. The US is now a minor power. I hope they stay that way. The fact we actually have the SOL requirement, but we don't have enough legitimacy. And there is nothing I can really do to fix that. The US will probably become a major power. I hate everything about this. Or at least we can build the Panama Canal. A war to win. We will never capitulate. The workers don't deserve rights. Juan is our new king. Then we'll have another Carlos. The government is now legitimate, but the church is way too powerful. So we'll still have to wait before we complete this entry. I think I'll go back to local police force. That will make the landowners a bit more powerful. Juan de Bourbon dies. He just got in charge, and he's already dead. Okay, we have Carlos, but now we can't form a legitimate government. It's very unfortunate how those things work. Maybe if we employ some creative accounting, we'll be able to get the legitimacy requirement down. That's worth a try. Yeah, now it's just 50, and that we can do, even without local police force. Okay, we colonized West Sahara, and now we get the Saharan Twilight. We completed the agriculture entry. Now we just need the land reform. Okay, that completed, and for some reason we get this special tenant farmers thing instead of serfdom. That's very cool, I like it. And we completed the economic regeneration. Spain marches proudly into the future. Really now, the French are trying to transfer Nueva Granada. But how about you give me Guyana? Brazil sides against me, of course they do, those traitors. If we're gonna play it like that, I can also bring in some friends, you know. That's right, France, no one likes you. In fact, I'm also gonna transfer French Senegal from you. France is actually pretty powerful, to be fair. I think we should be fine. The Americans also want a war right now. I guess I can bring you my allies as well, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Those wars are gonna be very expensive. Unfortunately, I don't have enough info for me to really cut off the American capital from the rest of their country. So we'll just be liberating North Carolina and we'll be taking Virginia. That's like 20% of GDP anyway. Okay, finally we're back at peace. And now we can merge those two colonies in Senegal. So we'll have only one Spanish Senegal. Oh, but the French colony was the one that got all of this. Okay, I guess we have to change your culture. Malaria prevention, that's great. Now we can start colonizing all of this. The scramble for Africa has begun. The US and the French are becoming a bit more friendly. I don't know how I feel about that. We got trench works. Time to switch everyone to trench infantry. Modernist architecture. Okay, fine. Sagrada Familia Cathedral. We can do that. Whatever I do, the US just refuses to become a minor power. They always get more people, they get more GDP. But this ends now. The French will probably fight me, but I don't care. We'll have to take West Virginia. This way we can separate the capital from the rest of the country. And there is no way they can still be a major power after that. The French are still using skirmish infantry. And so are the Americans. But we have trench infantry. So we're definitely gonna win. We took the American capital. So I think it's over for them. Now all this land in the American market is isolated. There is no way they can recover from that. Now New Africa is a bit too rebellious. I'll just get rid of them. Well, New England also wants to help them. And also Sweden for some reason. From Sweden I would actually like to transfer Denmark. And I want to take Greenland and Iceland. So I can really have all of North America. Time to also build a skyscraper. Okay, we might be modernizing a little bit. Another company. Let's see what else we can go for. Definitely not the Panama Canal. It's pretty much useless now. I guess the paper one will be okay. Oh, and finally America is a minor power. And we can make them a protectorate. Of course we'll have to fight the French, however. Oh, and we can also try out the machine guns. Absolutely. This war is pretty easy. I mean, it's already over. Now we can give some states back to the US. And we'll be able to make them a puppet. Now I think it's time for us to reorganize North America a little bit. There we go. I think this is much better. I gave a lot of the land away to Canada and Nueva España. And I also got rid of New England for the most part. Now Britain wants to go to war again. Okay, fine. I guess I can take over your Senegal. I will also bring in my allies. Yeah, we're starting this century with a huge war. You gotta be kidding me. Britain actually backed down. That was very unexpected. But now I own British Senegal, I guess. Now let's merge the two Senegals. Oh, really? The English one is mine? That doesn't make any sense. I guess we can change your language to Spanish. Official nationality. You know what? All hail the king. Oh my god, look at that popularity. Everybody loves Carlos. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the world. This is how Europe is looking like. Austria took over Bavaria. Belgium, Germany didn't unite. However, the French set up this Confederation of the Rhine. Also, the Netherlands conquered Belgium, and Luxembourg is anarchist for some reason. Anyway, the Ottoman Empire actually remained pretty strong. They are a great power and an important ally of Britain, although they lost Bulgaria and Egypt. Over in Africa, we own most of it, but yeah, the British and the French also have a couple colonies, and Ethiopia is also a British protectorate. Well, over in Asia, both India and China got divided. The Heavenly Kingdom is still a pretty powerful country in the region, however. They managed to convert quite a lot of people. Again, I have no idea why there are so many Sunnis over here. This happened in my last game as well, I have no idea why. Anyway, this is the religious map mode in case you're wondering. But yeah, overall, this is our empire. We own both of the Americas, we have huge colonies in Africa, and we control pretty much all of Indonesia. We are the greatest power in the world by far, and we have the largest GDP in the entire world. And yeah, keep in mind that's only Spain proper. That's the only land we directly own. All the rest is colonies and puppets, and they give us a lot of money. Yet it's actually a pretty fun way to play the game. And on top of that 200 million in Spain, we own another 271 million in our colonies. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And our biggest colony is Nueva España. They are just below us in population. Our entire power block is at over 770 million GDP. So I think we did pretty well. We brought the Spanish Empire back to its former glory. Those are our laws. We are a very traditional country, a true absolutist Catholic monarchy. Those are the institutions we have. Our companies, they are some of the most profitable in the world, and that's our trade. We import very little and export a whole lot. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Victoria 3 A to Z. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.